Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all crafting mostly in general, and the way that it feeds us and the way that we hope it benefits you as well. We are on episode 86 today.
Yeah.
And with Christmas right around the corner, we are just excited to share with you things that we're getting done in preparations for Christmas and just what we are going to be doing for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we hope that you guys have your project ready, maybe a drink nearby, and that you're able to just come and enjoy some time with us as we share what we're working on and what we're going to be doing.
And hopefully maybe you can have some time to get your stuff done too while we're talking about it. So I am working on this blanket, and it's not for anybody in particular, but if somebody should come up and say that they want a blanket, I'm gonna have them. So we started with the pretty orange and blues, but we have gone into all kinds of different colors now. With this mandala yarn, it just kind of transitions on its own, and I've been putting a solid color with it, and so the solid colors are just picking up all the tones of the other ones, and it's just so beautiful to work. And I have made, it's 101 chains, but it's 100 back because you're doing a half double crochet, and I'm working with a 10mm hook, so it just works up really quick, and you see all the transitions of the colors, and I'm just loving it. The section I'm in right now, I'm almost done with the purple, but man, all the pretty colors that the purple brings out, you know, when all the shades that the purple can, you know, pair and match with, it's just incredible. And the next color that I chose to go in this is going to be a red. And so we'll have all the transitions of the mandalas going into this red. And when the purple is done, which is almost there. So, yep, that's where I'm at right now. I also, this week, made 2 stockings. I had made stockings for all my other grand blessings. And my stepson and his wife are fostering a second child this year. A couple of years ago, you might remember that they were going to foster a little girl. That fell through. But this little boy, he needs a home. And he is so cute. But he's...
I'll be right back.
He's a little troubled because his family life was not ideal, but my stepson and his wife just absolutely adore this little boy, and so they're going to bring him for Christmas, and we're so excited about that. And with Sarah having a guest and her daughter staying with her, I thought I'd better make a stocking for the little girl as well. Now, I don't have the actual stockings with their names on them, but I just thought I'd show you what I made for Canyon and Olivia a couple years ago.
And it's going to be the same.
And it's the same pattern. It may not be the same material. I use different kind of material. Now, these are the same material, of course, but I used a different material for these 2 that I just made this week. And, but yeah, they're just kind of a nice fabric stocking that I made a pattern for. My husband made me 3 different size templates. Now, my problem was that I should have used the largest template, but my mind just went to, because I was sick all this week, and you might hear that in my speech today, I just put the template on top of the stockings that were already made, and it showed up as the middle-sized one. That didn't register with my brain at the time that there was not a seam allowance in there. So, but even so, the stockings are comparable in size, and I don't think the kids will ever figure out that I used the wrong size.
Yeah.
They're all comparable size, and I just thought it was really, really nice that I could just go into my stash, get some material out, get some batting out, have my pattern already printed out from years ago, and just make the stockings from my own pattern, and have them ready. And it was ready in a couple of hours. I already had these done. I mean, cut out, stitched together, and everything already done within probably an hour and a half. And for 2 stockings, that's not bad. And I just thought, you know what? I'm glad that I had the pattern, the material, and the time to get them done before we have our celebration this weekend. If we get to do it this weekend. We're getting signs, and they're saying that we might have a blizzard this weekend. So we're just wondering.
It's supposed to have about 2 foot of snow drop, so depending on how rough the conditions are,
Snowing and blowing and drifting.
Christmas for most of our side of Michigan might have to postpone party plans.
Yeah. So, and that's easily doable. I mean, we're not stuck to a schedule.
No, it's
but
fine.
It's just the fact that I just wanted to make sure that the kids all had stockings, and that they were all comparable sizes and everything, so that nobody felt left out. And that's, as my Nana's heart would not like that very much, I made sure it just wouldn't. But yeah, so I'm working on the blanket. I got the stockings done, and I'm waiting to see what you've gotten done, because I was really surprised last week with Olivia's toy, and I know that you're working on Abby's now. So, and I haven't seen any of this. She asked me if I wanted to see it before the video, and I said nope. I want to be surprised with everybody else. So.
So I'm going to show Olivia's again because I did do some detail work on it. Ooh. It has eyelashes now. So as y'all know, I make toys for the kids in my life, and this Christmas I am doing it where the immediate kids in my family, so that would be my children and the child that's living with us, are getting a toy. I've been doing a lot of birthday toys throughout all this year, where even some of my kids' newer friends have gotten a toy, like Owen. Mm-hmm. So it's not unreasonable that some of my nephews do not get something comparable to what I'm about to make, because I have been making things for them for their birthdays all year long. So it's not, I will still do something for them, and I am going to discuss that in a minute. But this is where I'm at with my daughters, my sons, and my possible, no, I'm not going to say that, the person that, the girl that is in my life, yes, that is now living with us. And I'm making them, the girls get a unicorn-mermaid. So cute. And now it has eyelashes. And it has the sparkly mane of hair that was put on the head. So and obviously beautiful. It has the horn, the ears, and the muzzle. And it has the bandeau and the beautiful little fin and mermaid tail. And I have decided that instead of bringing the arms forward and having her hold a star with the initial, I'm going to make a little cutie mark where there might be like a seashell right here where it will have the initial on it. Okay. Where it's kind of like decorated on the shell to kind of take away from, you know, there's so much distraction on the top right. half that if I can even it out with something on the bottom, yeah, I feel like it's going to be finally complete. Yeah. I do have gems that are not in this pouch, but like beads that I'm kind of thinking about making some earrings and maybe a necklace and stuff, but we will see how I'm feeling in a couple of days, because it's Wednesday right now. Christmas that they are going to actually receive these on is Sunday. So when you see how far I am Okay, just a minute, Bubba. My son's here. Once we see how far I am with some of these, the decisions as to how much detail I can do on these dolls might
have to wait until after Christmas.
So here, you talk about this for a second. I will be right back. I'm going to get him set back up.
I just love the hair on this.
It's such a
the whole toy is it's quite a chunk, but it's easily held and it looks so nice. She did a really good job on it. But see, that's something that I don't aspire to. So I really appreciate when people can do stuff like this, because it's just like there's no way in my mind that I can even figure that out.
Okay. So one of the obvious differences between Olivia's and Abigail's toy is that they have a different color palette for what the intensity or volume of the color range will be. Now, will they have sparkly hair? Yes, it's just not going to be the same color. Are they going to still have a fin and a bandeau? Yes, they're just going to be different colors. Eyes, different colors. It doesn't take away that the horn is always going to be this gold. The body portion is always going to be the white, and yeah, muzzle and the eyelashes are the same, but everything else is kind of a different variation. So, you haven't seen this. Close your eyes. I'm super excited to show you. I finished it last night to the same degree as this one.
Open my eyes yet?
No, not yet. This one is a tad bit bigger. Oh my god, the camera has already got to see it before you have to see it. Lord. Okay, Mom.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that. Isn't that great? Look at that. Look at that hair. That is so cool. The girls are going to love these, Sarah. They are. They're going to just have a ball playing with these things. And they're not going to have a bit of trouble figuring out whose is whose.
And that's kind of where I'm going with. Like, my biggest issue is that I was going to be using the same color choices with the originally with them. It was going to be the same thing, but it's like the fin was going to be, instead of being teal, it's going to be teal up here, and the purple's going to be down here on the fin. And so I had to have certain differences. Whereas with these two, they're not even the. They're different.
Yeah.
And so some of the things I had to do differently. Well, as you can see, the hair is a little tad bit different. And why? This one does have more hair on it. But here's the thing. This one was made with like a 3-ply yarn. Whereas this one was made with a 4-ply yarn. The volume of this one does make the head kind of rock. It has about the same volume size, but it weighs different, it lays different, and it's almost kind of the difference between a lot of hair and a fine hair but thick head, whereas this is just thick hair but it's just a little bit thinner. It comes out about to the same volume, but this was just a thicker yarn. I had to give it what it needed to be able to make it work when it wasn't exactly the same. And I talked to the mom about it. I talked to the mom about it, and the mom said she liked it how it was. She doesn't feel that her daughter's going to be cheated about because the volume on this one's a little bit different. They're just different dolls in general. And the reality is like I said, you can tell that this one has more hair. This one has more hair. Like I said, I was more than willing to put more hair on this one, but the mom said that she didn't, as she could tell this doll had a little bit of a wobble to her head already because of the weight. And like I said, this doll's hair is made out of a 3-ply yarn, and this one was not. This one was made out of 4. So it's not like it doesn't already have the same volume, it just doesn't have the same weight.
Yeah.
And that does cut into it. Whereas this one wasn't getting the volume I wanted. I had to put more on. It created more weight. This had the right amount of oomph that it doesn't really need it.
Right.
Things I did differently. I can't remember what I did and did not share because this week has, like I said, I went from having that project of the Godzilla to literally having it done and having this done.
Yeah.
To this week having this done. So I can't remember it. Did we go shopping for the hair after we filmed last week? Okay.
Yeah.
The way that I did this was, this one was a Mandela yarn, a sparkly Mandela yarn that I had got. This one was a variegated yarn that did not have sparkle. So how is it that it has sparkle now? Well, we got this a golden hollow shimmer thread from the quilting section, and I doubled up on it using a strand of this with the working yarn to make the yarn sparkly, and it's the same amount of sparkle as this one. And I found that that was just so interesting that I could simply pick up the sparkle and add it to any yarn that I wanted to and instantly make it sparkly yarn on my own. Like,
so how clever is that? That's a good tip for you.
Because for me it's like the I cannot remember what this yarn was called. Could you hold her for a second? I think I did save the wrapper. Let me hope to God that I did. I remember doing so, but what container did I put it in? I won't take forever to look at this. If I can't find it, I can't find it. It was in the, was it Red Heart? No, I think it was like a Super Saver yarn, wasn't it?
I thought so.
It was a Super Saver yarn of some sort. I am not seeing the wrapper, but I remember it being called Favorite Stripes of some kind. That was the name. Obviously, very nice neon colors. So I could just buy any yarn and add the shimmer in by just simply getting a hollow shimmer of either silver or gold thread from the quilting section, and it had about the same yardage. And I was just thinking, a lot of shimmery yarn, because when we were looking in the Mandela section. We couldn't find what we were looking for to save our butts. And I was just thinking, why is it so much more expensive than just regular Mandela? It was going from like $5 for a cake to $10 just because the sparkle was in it and there wasn't even that much yarn in it. And I found that a very odd thing until it hit me. I could possibly just goof it and make it on my own, and which it worked perfectly. It's the same amount of just by doing it myself. And because this one was done in much more goldens, like the eyes are gold. I don't know if you can tell. Yep. I use a hollow golden shimmer. So whereas this one's in more silvers, this one's in golder tones, this one's in pastels, this one's in like neon vibrance. I thought that was so cool. There was leftover remnants from this cake, like with this teal yarn right here, that I was able to use in this one as well. So there was just this, and maybe this blue I think was 3-ply, but the rest of it was like worsted weight. I think those textures really amp up in this, and oh, there was this yellow as well, that was the 3-ply, but otherwise I'm not upset by the fact that they're a slight difference. I think that only, like I said, adds character to it. The mom said she didn't want me to add more volume at the expense of the head wiggling much more than it did, like this one, even though I know my daughter's not going to care. The mom made it very clear she did not think that there was any favoritism here. I put in the same amount of effort with both of these dolls, and I know that the girls are going to love them.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I plan to, before Sunday, getting the whatever, like the cootie mark or the mark to be like, maybe one will be a starfish and one will be some sort of a seashell, but it'll be something along the lines where there's going to be that on the hip with some decorations, and it will have the initial on it just to be that much more distinctive.
Yeah.
I did have to double up on the red yarn because I only had it in 3-ply, so that's why the hips are a little bit, this one's bigger, but this is a 6-year-old compared to a 4-year-old, so I think that's kind of cool that they kind of look one a little bit older, a little bit more spunky, and this one's a little bit more young and juvenile, and so, yep, they're best friends. So these are the toys that I have made so far for the kids. Now,
Yes.
my son has been completely oblivious. It's honestly been hilarious. I've been working on these around him, and he's just like, oh, whatever. Because I've been doing crochet and knitting around them for so long. They don't even... It's not that they're not interested, but they just... It's such a pastime that I do that it's so a part of their life that it's something that they can just grow kind of blind to.
Well, kind of, because when I'm watching YouTube, and if I happen to watch somebody who's doing crochet, he'll look at me, and he'll look at the TV, and he'll look back, and he'll see the balls of yarn, and he'll say, "Hey, that's what you're doing," and I'm like, "Yep, that's what I'm doing, buddy."
No, he will come up to me. So, like, when I was doing their hair, he would come up to me and be like, now you have to do it this way, Mommy. Remember the ball right here, and this right here, and this right here, and this right here, and then blah, 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 and he would instruct
But
me.
he likes to organize things.
Yeah. So I've been having to do his project in front of him, but he's not really been paying attention to me at all. And I would have thought that the colors would have been a telltale sign because I'm making him a Blippi doll. And Blippi wears orange and blue and gray. So those colors being out in general should have tipped him off, and he has not noticed.
But you've worked with so many colors this week.
That's the whole thing. I think he's kind of grown numb to my projects because I started with the girls first in front of him.
Yeah.
That he's not necessarily paying attention, and luckily I have enough time till then to really work on it, and much more of the evenings where it's like it's not even as intense, and he'll likely already be asleep. I'm gonna show this. The one thing I don't want to forget to say, yes, with the variegated yarns, the way that I did this was that I rolled up the yarn until it went to another color change, and I snipped it off, and then would roll it each color as their own ball of yarn so that I could make these individual strands and place them how I had to be able to make it so that the colors were evenly distributed.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that real quick. I did that with this one as well, and that allowed me to be able to get the full benefit and range of the colors as best as I could to be able to make this as I don't know, well balanced as possible. So yeah. I just figured I'd say that real quick because if you're wondering how I got a variegated to work with me that nicely, I took the time to separate out the colors, which is really kind of cool for projects like this. Is like if you just pick up a cake where you already know the colors complement each other, then you don't have to work at finding all these different balls of yarn and just wondering, is this going to work with this? Is this going to work with this? It's like the colors are already chosen. It's like you've already chosen a color swatch. Now all you have to do is just take the work to separate them all, and you already know they're all going to work with each other.
Yeah, that's the awesome part of it.
I was very lucky to have some of the leftover 3-ply yarns work with this. These 3 colors, the yellow, the teal, and the darker blue, worked still with all these colors, and so they were kind of like the colors that this didn't have.
And it works really nicely.
So, okay. I have very little of this doll done for my son. I know I'm going to get it done by Sunday. I know it's not going to take me that long. But what I do have done...
Oh, wow.
So, here's the thing.
That's so cool.
We've mentioned this before. I, Sarah...
I'm a yarn addict.
I'm a yarn addict that does not choose to follow the pattern as the pattern requires it to be followed.
I use my own weight of yarn.
You know, I use my own creative liberty on someone else's pattern and then wonder why it doesn't come out the same. Every time.
There you go.
Like, when you see the person's hand come into the frame to hold the piece when they're taking a photo to be able to get the pattern all sorted out, and the doll's hand and torso fits the size of the palm, and I'm over here just like...
Hey, this is so awesome. Well, she uses a different ply of yarn and it comes out bigger. The kids need bigger toys when they're little, right?
I completely agree. I'm just thinking, like, I was looking at it, I was like, how did I get this that far off? And I knew I did that with these, with the unicorn mermaids. And I was like, I thought this was going to be more accurate. What did I do different? Wow. You want to know what I did different?
What?
They were using a size 2 hook.
Oh, what size hook are you using?
A 5.
There you go.
So, Blippi is a man that runs or is the character of a television show. It is a real life show where this man goes in and kind of is the host of the show. He ends up bringing children to different work sites, different play areas, and he'll like play or operate in these areas to show them how they're supposed to approach different things and learn different environments and how they're supposed to play with their toys correctly. And it's kind of like they get to interact with this other adult playing and being in areas that they would want to be in. And he teaches them a lot of academia, and it's very kid appropriate to my child right now. And he loves Blippi. And I found this pattern that is a Blippi doll, and Blippi's colors, like I said, are blue and orange. This is his hat, and I have to still make the button-down t-shirt with the overalls with everything that he needs, or the suspenders and everything that he needs, and I have to make sneakers and everything. This doll could possibly be bigger than the girls' is.
That's okay.
And I find that very interesting because, like I said, I was like, well, it's going to be smaller than theirs because in comparison to how the pattern worked out, but it's very interesting how these originally were supposed to be made with like a size 3 hook. And so their dimension sizes were only just slightly bigger. And so they made them about a doll's normal size. Whereas with this supposed to be at a 2 size, the increase was over half. So it makes it bigger by, math.
Well,
anyway,
he could play with the girls and
it's fine. I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is, it's just very interesting how that and the measurements worked out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last details I have to do on the head is they wanted me to create white around the pupil, so these are safety eyes, but they want me to sew a white thread around on both sides to kind of make it look like it's the white of the eye. I have to create details like the eyebrows and the little sly smile, and I have to create orange rimmed glasses. So it's like I have to get some sort of wire. I think I'm going to be using the jewelry wire that I still have, that I can mold it, and then I will have to take the orange yarn and wrap it around it and try to see how I can kind of cover it with that.
Yeah.
And then I do have the ears already made. I just haven't attached them, but once that's done, I'll be able to sew the glasses on. So the glasses will be the hardest thing on this toy because they will actually be made with some sort of a crafting metal. Then obviously, like I said, the only other things I have made on this project are the arms. And I just kind of had them wound up together. If you will give me just a minute, I can get these done. So the arm is kind of like it has a little thumb, and it has, the blue of the color of the button-up shirt that he normally wears, and it has this little cuff so it looks like it's rolled up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's he's gonna be a cute little doll. Obviously, the head's bigger than the rest of the body, but it's kind of how some of these like
Anime stuff is.
Yeah, not anime, but it's the design of these Aragurumi dolls. They kind of have it where it's like the more prominent feature, kind of even like the head.
Yeah.
It's just so much bigger than the rest of the body. Like this head is so substantially in size bigger than the rest of the body.
Yeah.
And that's the same kind of with this one too. So I recognize that with this all said and done, by the time we film next week, if we do end up getting to film depending on the weather conditions, these will have, or by the time I am completely satisfied and they have been given as gifts, it will be before our next time filming. So what I'm going to do is once they are fully completed, I will do a small video or do a photo shoot to be able to have them for you. And possibly with this one, the Blippi might be something I might have on me because Kanye will likely come with me and I might be able to have him share it himself. He'll probably come up and we'll have him share it. But I am hopeful that the kids will enjoy these gifts to the fullest and that they will last long and wear well, because, you know, I want to create something that they will actually be able to have memories with and possibly last for a couple of years. And these are kind of the first real toys that were made with some level of high intentionality as a gift, not just as a spur of the moment, hey, I just wanted to make my kids something. Because I've done that with Olivia where I've made her like the octopuses or whatever, where it's like, it's just kind of like I was in the mood.
Or that mad pillow.
Yeah, where it's kind of like it served a purpose.
Yeah.
This was made in mind of something that not only did I know that they wanted and would appreciate, but as a Christmas gift, and to me that's very important. So I really hope that it serves its purpose and it makes them happy. Yeah. So again, hopefully you will see him as a completed form, but I'm not really sure the next time or if ever you're going to see these dolls.
For in your little video when you...
Yes, besides you seeing them with the intended people or just as a finished work when I'm done with them in maybe a day or two. These are the last time you'll be seeing these girls, so.
Aw, they're so cute.
They look like sisters.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah, and they're quite heavy. Like, this is substantial.
That's what I was saying too when I was lifting it up. Yeah. But see, that's what kids like. I mean, they like a nice substantial toy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's durable.
Yeah.
It's going to last. So, yeah. So, that's where we're at. And I just figured I would share where I'm at with you guys. And we will go on to our Bible verse.
Yeah. Since Christmas is on its way, I figured we should have something to do with that. And so, I chose Isaiah 9:6. Which says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." And we are so grateful that Jesus was born to be our Savior, to take away the sins of the world, and to give us a way to heaven. And if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a Christmas. There wouldn't be anything like that. So we would just like to encourage you with the words of the Bible, just that he was born unto us as a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an everlasting Father, and a Prince of Peace. In this world, we need our peace, and at Christmas time especially, the world becomes, at least to those who look for it, a place of peace. And given that we're just so encouraged and enlightened. Sorry. And we're trying to encourage you. This is the verse that we're choosing to do. I'm going to give it to you now. Goodness.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Like, it's very interesting. I was thinking about it when you were saying that, and just a minute, baby. You know, the reason for the season, I think about the fact that, you know, at a different time, this part of the year was all based off of the winter solstice, and how we had this turnaround where people traveling from another place would come, and they were seeing all these people and their land celebrating the winter solstice, and there's other faiths, other religions that were celebrating very big milestones of their religion on this particular time of year. And that's actually where the Christmas that we know of today, in celebration of Jesus' birth, came born. That's why it was decided to happen this day in this way, because of other people celebrating their big monuments of their religion. We celebrated the biggest one that we had, which would be Jesus' birth. You know, we have Easter, where, you know, it's Jesus rise again, but that one wouldn't even be real if it wasn't for Jesus' birth. And I just think about how, you know, there are some things that the way that history works things through to be able to present the stories as they are is done in such a very interesting way. And you know, the reason we have trees, the reason we celebrate certain things might come from a different a different walk, a different way of you know, it was in celebration of all the other things that were also being celebrated at the time.
Right.
And not to say that this isn't the reason why we celebrate during this time of year, but I just think that Christmas, there are many different ways that people have celebrated Christmas throughout the years, because we even shared it from people that would celebrate the winter solstice.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just very interesting. And I just think, you know, it's just so nice how we just like it. I like how it's just like, it's so peaceful to know that there is a way to be able to, it's not that we're celebrating any other religion, just the way that we're just able to be like, it all is special in some way, but this is the way that we celebrate this time. And obviously this says a very huge milestone. I know that when I was amongst the scholar, they had said that Jesus' real actual calendar birthday would have happened in the middle of the summer, actually. But it was, like I said, the way that Christmas as we know it came about was in that time of people seeing other people celebrate their different faiths, and we celebrated it in this way with them in great celebration.
Right.
And it just is really, really cool. And that, like I said, that's how we got our Christmas tree and different things from their different, like, we kind of took things from each other in that way. Has nothing to do, we're not celebrating anything more than just Jesus, but it doesn't take away the fact that, like, some of these traditions that we have no place for, that is just like, this is something we do during only Christmas time, comes from this very interesting history. And I think it's just so interesting.
And we would like to keep Christ in Christmas, and that's why I thought it was so important to bring this scripture to us today. So that's what we're going to do. And this is, let's see, the New King James Version. So reading right out of the scripture today. Didn't even have a note. So
Isaiah
9:6.
Yep. So, as always, if you really want to read the story of Jesus being born, I would look up Luke 2.
Yep.
And you'll have the
Complete story
on that. But as always, we hope that you have a fantastic holiday season, no matter what you're celebrating this time of year. As we're celebrating our Christmas, we recognize that there's other holidays that are being celebrated during this time, and we hope that you all have a great 2022, and that you will hopefully see you before the beginning of the new year. But if we don't, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We love you guys, and we hope that we have inspired you, and that we have given you some time to just kind of relax and work on your project.
Yeah.
We will see you next time. As always, we hope that you stitch your way
To mental health.